Lil Durk could be linked to a second murder-for-hire plot.
Accused of playing a role in a second murder in Chicago.
Lil Durk, one of the most prominent figures in the Chicago drill scene and a rising global hip-hop star, has seen his name splashed across headlines yet again, not for his chart-topping hits, but for allegations that threaten to overshadow his meteoric career. Despite capturing the hearts of millions with his raw storytelling and unrelenting work ethic, his legal troubles have often loomed large, casting a shadow over his success. Now, a new chapter in his tumultuous journey, a second alleged murder-for-hire case, has thrust him into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons.
Chicago rapper Lil Durk could be linked to a second murder-for-hire plot, this time in Chicago. These are images of the gunman who shot and killed Stephon Mack in 2022. Prosecutors say Mack was outside the Youth Peace Center of Roseland.
The explosive allegations claim that Lil Durk orchestrated a violent act of retaliation against a member of a rival gang, following the tragic murder of his brother D-Thang.
Dante Banks was killed when he was shot in the head. Banks is the older brother of locally known rapper Lil Durk. 32-year-old is also a rapper who performed as D-Thang.
While Durk has not officially been charged in this case, unsealed federal documents implicating his name have reignited fierce debates about loyalty, accountability, and the fine line between art imitating life and life imitating art. For fans and critics alike, the unfolding drama raises the question, can Lil Durk ever fully escape the ghosts of his past? Or is he forever bound to the cycles of violence that shaped his rise to stardom? Before delving into the recent accusations, it's essential to revisit the earlier case that initially embroiled Lil Durk in legal strife. This first incident, which has yet to reach trial.
Court documents allege that Banks paid for and planned out the attempted murder of rival rapper Quando Rondo in Los Angeles in retaliation for the murder of OTF rapper Davon Bennett, also known as King Von.
Links Durk to the death of a man allegedly involved in the killing of rapper King Von. Prosecutors argued that Durk financed and coordinated the act, though his defense team has staunchly denied the charges, painting him as a target of systemic bias and media sensationalism. The alleged incident occurred in Atlanta, where Durk and his co-defendant, King Von, were accused of being involved in the shooting of a man outside a prominent restaurant.
Lil Durk faces 3 new federal charges in connection to a deadly shooting in Los Angeles in August of 2022. The Grammy Award-winning rapper, whose legal name is Durk Banks, is charged along with 5 alleged co-conspirators in a murder-for-hire plot.
According to the prosecution, the shooting was premeditated, with Durk allegedly playing a key role by providing financial resources and logistical support. Surveillance footage and witness testimonies formed the backbone of the prosecution's case, with claims that Durk was seen near the scene shortly before the shooting. From the outset, Durk's defense team painted a starkly different narrative. They argued that their client had no direct involvement in the shooting, and that the prosecution's case was built on circumstantial evidence and unreliable witnesses. They emphasized that Durk had been actively working to distance himself from street violence, focusing instead on his music career and philanthropic efforts. His legal team also suggested that the prosecution was leveraging Durk's celebrity status to make an example out of him, perpetuating systemic biases often seen in cases involving prominent black artists. The case became a media sensation, with every development scrutinized and debated across platforms. For fans, the charges were a devastating blow, casting a shadow over an artist they had come to see as a beacon of resilience. For critics, the allegations confirmed their suspicions about the blurred lines between Durk's art and his real-life actions. The public narrative oscillated between support and condemnation, with some viewing him as a product of his environment and others holding him accountable for his alleged choices. The incident also highlighted the deep connection between Durk and King Von, a rising star in the drill music scene who had faced his own legal troubles before his untimely death.
You know King Von died? I said, what, bro? He said, you know he died? They said he died last night, he got shot up.
Von's alleged involvement in the shooting added another layer of complexity to the case. Both artists were seen as symbols of Chicago's South Side, a community plagued by cycles of violence but also rich in culture and talent. Their music often reflected these dualities, capturing the pain and perseverance of their experiences. As the case progressed, questions arose about the broader implications for the hip-hop community. Critics argued that the glorification of street life in drill music contributed to a culture of violence, making it difficult for artists like Durk to fully escape their pasts. Supporters, however, contended that the music was a reflection, not a cause, of the systemic issues that shaped their realities. They pointed to Durk's philanthropic efforts, including initiatives to support underprivileged youth in Chicago, as evidence of his commitment to change.
So many people there just from the community and just Durk's like people supporting Durk that they actually had to open up an overflow room to just make sure. And normally in like small little hearings like that, it's not that many people there. So he's like, yo, he got support. He not backing down.
Durk's legal troubles also shed light on the challenges faced by artists navigating fame while remaining connected to their roots. For many, success brings heightened scrutiny and expectations, creating a delicate balance between loyalty to their communities and the need to protect their newfound status. In Durk's case, his rise to fame did not insulate him from the struggles of his past. Instead, it seemed to amplify the stakes, with every move scrutinized by both supporters and detractors. The stakes in this first case were enormous, not just for Durk's personal freedom, but also for his career and reputation. If convicted, he faced significant jail time, which would have effectively ended his music career at its peak. Even the ongoing nature of the case posed challenges, with potential collaborators and sponsors wary of the association. Yet through it all, Durk continued to release music, using his art as both an outlet and a platform to address his struggles. The second murder-for-hire case surrounding Lil Durk has plunged the rapper into another wave of scrutiny and legal uncertainty. The alleged crime, as described in unsealed federal documents, revolves around what authorities claim was a calculated act of retaliation for the killing of Durk's brother, D-Thang.
Older brother OTF D-Thang was shot and killed in Chicago. Reports say that Dante D-Thang Banks Jr. was shot in the head outside of a nightclub and died on the spot, according to witnesses who say that they saw the shooting go down in the 17,000 block of South Halstead just hours after midnight on Sunday.
The targeted individual, purportedly an affiliate of the Gangster Disciples, one of Chicago's most infamous street factions, was linked to D-Thang's murder, according to investigators. These allegations are serious, yet as of now, they remain unproven, with no formal charges filed against Durk. Still, the mere mention of his name in this context has sparked widespread speculation, reigniting a debate about his ties to street life despite his monumental success in the music industry. The backdrop to this story is one of deep personal loss and the fraught social dynamics of Chicago's South Side, where gang affiliations and territorial disputes have long fueled cycles of violence. D-Thang, whose real name was Dante Banks Jr., was more than just Lil Durk's older brother. He was a beloved figure in Durk's life and an integral part of his support system. His murder in 2021 outside a nightclub in Harvey, Illinois, sent shockwaves through their family and the local community. For Durk, the loss was both personal and public, magnified by his status as one of Chicago's most prominent musical figures. Many speculated at the time that D-Thang's murder was connected to long-standing feuds within the city's gang ecosystem.
Stephon Mack is a part of this gang called the Gangster Disciples, and they had something to do with the killing of, allegedly has something to do with the killing of Durk's brother. So because he sanctioned it and threw money say that he, threw money out or whatever, resourced it.
And the emotional toll on Durk was evident in his music and public appearances. These new allegations suggest that Durk may have sought revenge for his brother's killing, allegedly financing and coordinating a retaliatory attack. Law enforcement claims that Durk provided resources to facilitate the operation, though they have yet to present irrefutable evidence tying him directly to the crime. Central to the case are testimonies from confidential informants as well as purported digital communication records that authorities say implicate Durk. However, the reliability of such evidence has already become a point of contention. One significant challenge in prosecuting this case is the murkiness of the evidence itself. Confidential informants, while valuable in certain investigations, often come with questionable credibility. Many informants have vested interests, such as reduced sentences or financial incentives, which can cast doubt on the objectivity of their statements. Defense attorneys frequently argue that informants are unreliable narrators, willing to embellish or fabricate details to curry favor with law enforcement. Another layer of complexity lies in the alleged digital evidence. Prosecutors reportedly possess communication records that they argue link Durk to the crime, but such evidence can be highly interpretative. Text messages, phone records, or even financial transactions could be framed in different ways depending on the narrative being constructed. For example, a payment to an individual involved in the crime could be portrayed as funding for the operation, while the defense might argue that it was unrelated or taken out of context. For Lil Durk, these legal troubles couldn't have come at a more precarious time. He's at the peak of his career, with multiple chart-topping albums and collaborations with some of the biggest names in music, including Drake, Lil Baby, and Morgan Wallen. His ability to transcend the drill genre and appeal to mainstream audiences has been a testament to his artistic growth and adaptability. But allegations of violence and criminal activity risk overshadowing his accomplishments. Sponsors and collaborators might distance themselves, wary of the potential fallout. Fans are left grappling with the duality of an artist who preaches growth and redemption in his music while seemingly remaining tethered to a life of violence. Legal strategy. What's next for Durk? Lil Durk's legal team has already begun addressing these latest allegations, adopting a two-pronged strategy. First, they've emphasized the lack of formal charges, urging the public to reserve judgment until all facts are revealed. Second, they've highlighted Durk's philanthropic efforts and contributions to his community as evidence of his character and commitment to change. One of the key challenges for Durk's defense will be discrediting the prosecution's reliance on circumstantial evidence. If the case hinges on testimonies from informants, the defense will likely question their credibility and motivations. Additionally, Durk's team will aim to contextualize any financial transactions or communications cited as evidence, arguing that they were unrelated to any criminal activity. Despite these efforts, the stakes remain high. If formal charges are filed and the case proceeds to trial, Durk could face severe penalties, including a lengthy prison sentence. The implications extend beyond his personal freedom, potentially jeopardizing his career and financial stability. The bigger picture: hip-hop, loyalty, and accountability. Lil Durk's situation underscores a broader tension within hip-hop, the struggle to balance loyalty to one's roots with the responsibilities that come with fame. For many artists, success doesn't erase the ties to their communities. Instead, it amplifies the expectations placed upon them to provide, to protect, and to represent. In Durk's case, this dynamic is further complicated by the pervasive violence in Chicago's South Side, where cycles of retaliation and retribution are deeply entrenched. His music often reflects these realities, serving as both a form of storytelling and a coping mechanism. Yet, critics argue that artists like Durk inadvertently perpetuate these cycles by glorifying street life, even as they seek to escape its consequences. At the same time, it's crucial to recognize the systemic factors at play. The criminal justice system's treatment of black artists has long been a contentious issue, with accusations of racial bias and disproportionate scrutiny was chosen as a high-priority response to D-Thang's tragic death. The supposed motive, retribution for a personal loss, is one that resonates within cycles of gang-related violence where emotions and street codes intertwine dangerously. In reconstructing the events leading up to this alleged act, the narrative often loops back to Durk's ongoing battle to break free from a violent past. As he climbed to fame, his ties to Chicago's street culture seemed inescapable. His music, rich with visceral storytelling, mirrors the struggles, choices, and consequences faced by those in similar environments. Whether it was a matter of seeking justice or navigating blurred lines between personal and public responsibilities, Durk's story is layered with conflicting pressures. The allegations also raise broader questions about the responsibilities of artists who come from violent environments. Should they be held accountable for perpetuating the very cycles they aim to escape? Or should they be viewed as products of their circumstances, deserving of empathy and support? For many fans, Durk's music serves as a form of catharsis, a raw and unfiltered reflection of the realities they face. But for critics, it also glamorizes a lifestyle that perpetuates harm. As this case unfolds, it will undoubtedly serve as a litmus test for how society views the intersection of fame, accountability, and systemic inequality. For Lil Durk, it represents a critical juncture in his life, a chance to either break free from the past or be consumed by it. Whatever the outcome, this moment will likely define not just his career, but also his legacy. As the case develops, the dialogue surrounding it will likely intensify. Whether or not Durk is found culpable, his predicament highlights the systemic challenges faced by artists emerging from environments steeped in violence and hardship. His story is emblematic of a larger cultural and social debate, a reflection of cycles that transcend individual choices, rooted deeply in economic disparities and historical inequities.